Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have an interest video here, but this is a 2010 Mini Cooper. The customer complaint is misfires. He's been having this issue for probably 6 months. This is one of my YouTube subscribers. He's coming from Ohio all the way down to here to Virginia for me to diagnose his vehicle. They took this car to the dealer and to another shop in Ohio, and they told him that he needs an engine, and he just wants to have to get a real diagnosis because he said they just explained him what he has done, which I will tell you in a second, and all they just said, oh yeah, it needs an engine, with not really further and really a good diagnosis that he can feel comfortable that it's true, So he came to me and explained exactly what's been going on. He did have a problem with a cylinder head gasket. One of the plugs in the cylinder head got, a 20 millimeter plug. He said it got bad and the oil got mixed with the coolant on the radiator and so on. So he fixed that himself. This is a friend of his car, and he's repairing it for him. And he's been driving it since then, trying to, make it work correctly or see if they really need an engine. At first, he was having issues that he, just misfired even after he replaced the head or fixed the head problem. And then he realized that if he unplugged the exhaust camshaft actuator solenoid, the car runs with no misfires, even though it has the low power reduction yellow light on the cluster. So just to give you a little bit of a note that he puts in here, that's the experience of it. It's a 2012. When the Mini Cooper was brought to me, the oil and coolant had totally mixed. I could not distinguish one from another. I later discovered that 20 millimeter plug, the same thing that I tell you on the head. So he repaired the head. I got pressure tested. He reassembled everything, new timing change, and spark plugs, and even coils that I can see, timing guides, etc. And then he discovered that the car was experiencing misfires and loss of power. That made it almost impossible to drive. I replaced all the four coils, but did not eliminate the problem. I further discovered that if I unplugged the exhaust vanos solenoid, that would be drivable. He actually drove the car from Ohio to here this way. And he did this like 6 months ago, even though he's not being able to really drive it much, for obvious reasons. So I want to just first run a scan report. I know that I'm going to get, the vanos is disconnected. So the ignition is on. I haven't ID'd the vehicle, but I got this scanner BCI connected. I want to see what I see. Sorry for the glare again, but it's just impossible with these scanners. Might have to reconnect the ignition because sometimes if you leave the car for a while with the ignition on, it just goes into a power save mode, a power save mode. We'll see. That might be the case. I was getting everything ready for you guys, so I don't spend too much time in just the introduction of the video, but it is necessary. So yeah, I might have to. It's taking too long for recognize the vehicle. Let me just plug the seat belt so the ignition will stay on. Yeah, now it's the ignition on, and it no, like I said, I didn't. So let's cancel this and do it again. BMW Mini Coopers are very fast communications. That's why, when I saw that going a little slow, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely not talking. All right, that's my bean. Yeah. I just want to, get a history of at least codes. Hopefully he hasn't erased everything lately. I didn't run that by him. I will see. And I'm most likely going to plug that back in with you guys to see how is the misfire. I'm most likely also going to be doing an in-cylinder pressure transducer test to really see the health situation engine-wise. Yeah, as you can see, the communication is just super fast. I'm gonna send this to the printer. This software sometimes is just useless. Whenever this happens to you, don't don't panic. Just look for a PDF, anything. Just put PDF, and then look for open file location, and look for the last one you have. That's a temporary file, but that is exactly your, and that's with Acrobat. At least that's what I use to open the PDF. This cannot be open. So one more time. Yeah, now it's working. So just close whatever opened up before on this, and then we can print it. That's what it should have, pop out and let me print. But that software for Autel doesn't really work too well. All right, so let's see what we got here. As you can see, it has not even 100,000 miles. I mean, for those who have worked in Mini Coopers, you know that those are the very common mileage for a lot of issues on these engines. I mean, I have seen even with like 30,000 miles having problems. So yeah, the only one that is present is the exhaust vanos disconnected. Oil pressure control valve circuit open. Cylinder 2 misfires 1, 2, and 3. Damaging exhaust, blah blah blah. All right, so we got misfires on several cylinders, and as far as I can see, it's probably all of them. What the engine is reading when it's running with the vanos connected. Um, so that's just a start. I want to go over to control unit, DME, live data. Come on. Let's see the misfire detection. Let me put you guys on the tripod. I'm going to start a vehicle just the way it is, nothing plugged yet. This is a manual transmission. Forgot to mention that too. Not that really it matters, but it definitely has a heavy noise. Hmm. Hopefully the microphone can pick that up. The way it is, it's not really showing any misfires, but it has a very distinctive tap on the engine, which for me it sounds like Batman. So let me go back here, and we can see the zero misfires with that disconnected. I might have to erase the code for this in order to really start working. So let me go over to trouble codes. Misfire detection, nothing. I might have to restart the engine for that to happen again. I just really don't like that sound. Now I can feel the misfire. The engine sound completely changed, but now we got a dead misfire. And yeah, it's misfires 1, 2, and 3. So immediately, as soon as you got that BANOS connected, I'm off camera. Let me just see if we pick up another code. I'm just looking at that pressure one. Charging pressure control switch off as consequence. Yeah, I mean the engine runs really, really bad with that connected. And obviously, I mean that changed the timing. As soon as that gets unplugged, the engine runs a little better, but then we get the knocking. All right, let me turn this off. Um, yeah, I'm going to unplug the scanner. I don't think I need it more. It's a little soon to say anything about the engine. Um, oh, wow, that's a beautiful glare in the camera, right? Let me relocate you guys. Sorry for that. Sun changed the position very quickly here today. It's like 8 a.m. on Monday. All right, guys, think I'm have everything ready to go. I'm going to use two of the picoscopes, the WPS 500, one on the cylinder 3, which is the one we suspect we got the problem. I got the other one connected to the crankcase pressure. So that the first one is set up into range 1. The second one is set up to range 3, which is the lowest. I think it's plus or minus 5 psi. You can zoom in if you want. You can do that in the picoscope as well. But we'll see when we start doing the recording. I also have a sync on coil number 1. Wire color is the Y1. The black is just a common ground for all the coils. The green is a confirmation for, I think, all of them. I think this is a primary circuit, so I think, sorry, the green is going to be powered and the ground is going to be control side coming from the computer. Ground, I'm using the computer ground for that lead, and then I'm make sure the coil is going through, a ground, so I don't damage anything. Try to keep as much as interference from the pressure transducers, so we get a clean uh, capture. These I think I'm recording the screen, so will be a better capture this time. So let me set prop number 1 is my sync, sorry, my ignition primary. So hmm, I don't really think we need to do anything in here. I think it is the probe. Okay, let me just go over to voltage plus minus 200. We'll see. I might have to use an attenuator. Hopefully it doesn't damage anything. I think the B channel, just forgot about, yeah, B channel is the cylinder pressure transducer. So we need to tell the scope what we're using in here. So WPS 500 range 1. And then we can go minus 22 to 200. And then in here, we got the WPS 500 in range 3. And I don't expect to be too much, but let's just, the full spectrum. Let's run this and let's crank one time. Let's separate this. Let me see. I want a little more detail, not too much. I mean, it's very good buffer here. Just want to make sure I got enough. Uh, we need to go a little farther on capture. 1 second per division. Let's go half a second per division. That should be enough. Again, this is just a crank and compression test. Let's see what we can see if we need to do any changes. I mean, I'm gonna crank the car one more time. All right, let's just stop that. What happened? Come on, Mike. I thought it was running. Yeah, it was. Hmm. I want more samples. Sorry guys, but that's not good enough. I'm gonna do 1 second per division this time. The battery's getting a little weak. Should put the charger on. I have it right there, but we'll see. Yeah, no, that's not good. We need more juice. You don't want to have the battery connected charger because of my ignition ground there, but I have to, it's not good enough. All right. Once again, stop and run. I think we got enough. Yes, let's save this. Um, and this is definition cell 1, sorry, cell 1. This is compression, cell 3, and this is crankcase. Um, Mini 2012. I mean, secondary fuel, we don't need that. Transmission. Nope, let me just save that like this. And it's in waveform, so yeah, Mini 2012. I'm gonna put Ohio, so I remember. All right, now we can let me just turn the transducers off. That's the only thing I'm going to do. I don't think we capture pressure this time. We'll see. I don't see much as before. Yeah, definitely. It's not seeing it. No, that's the whole capture. Oh, I'm playing with the timing here. Let's see if we can offset this a little bit. Sorry, scale, not upset. Yeah, they're right there. Okay, perfect. So yeah, they are. Just needed to scale it a little bit. Should have left it the way it was, but well, it is here. Um, hmm. Oh, I'm measuring the blue channel, which is ignition. Got 150 pounds of pressure. Again, when you're here, you don't want to overanalyze anything. You want to now then move the pressure transducer to a known good cylinder. In this case, I'm going to do cylinder number one, and then overimpose one to another and see what we see. I mean, I definitely see different things in here, like the intake package. It's really, really deep compared to the exhaust. Um, Everything is connected. We have intake and exhaust cams, actuators on there. So let me just move that compression hose to cylinder number one. I got all the spark plugs out. Just moving the hose, trying to thread the hose in. Oh, the adapter stayed in. Oh, that is no good. Yeah, the adapter stayed in there. Should have tied that up first. Better. Well, it's metal, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. Because these hoses from Pico, you can use different adapters on the front, obviously for different um, spark plug size, like this one. I know I'm off camera. Should turn you guys so you can see what I'm doing. I'll be cutting, a lot of what I'm doing to make the video short. Still attached. Yeah. So this is the thread that I was talking about. Easily just hand tie them because it doesn't fit in the case with this on. The spot for the hose is just made for the hose without the adapter. Yeah, you want to make sure your transducer are not sitting down on, like, hitting anything, because that might create a vibration that can affect the readings. All right, we got this one saved. Settings are going to be exactly the same thing. Again, anytime you're going to use a transducer, let it, set up itself. Like in here, I don't need a hose because the same transducer weight is keeping it in the right spot. This one, again, to range 1, and this is going to be on range 3. Just the second button. And we can do a zoom. I'll have to tell that to the scanner too, but I think that I'd rather not use a zoom. Just leave it the way it is. Just press the button. All right, let's try this one more time. And this is a stopped. Take the zoom off. That should be plenty. All right, let me turn you guys to the action area now. Let's save this too. Save us. And then in here, we're going to put cylinder 1. Everything else will stay the same. Ohio. And I'm going to put cylinder 1 so I remember which one is which. I don't think I need to go, 5 million samples per, per the buffer here. I think it's a little overkill. Huh. Let's take the offset off. See that pressure transducer on the crankcase wasn't reading right because now look at the difference in here. The sink, obviously, we now have the ignition on cylinder 1. This is cylinder 1, but we can definitely see a big difference as far as exhaust valve and intake pressures. Yes, there's also a big difference as well. Let's get the channel 1 or channel A off for a second so we can see, what our pressures or maximum pressures are. Yeah, we got 180, like 190 pounds of pressure across the board, not in cylinder 3, which, if I am correct, I might be able to open both. Let me just click in here to open another picoscope window. You can also create a reference waveform if you want to have it as, exactly there, but then you need to make sure the RPMs and everything is exactly the same. So I'd rather use this way, just to put, rulers and so on. Let's open the file. I got Picoscope 7 too. I just, haven't played with that one too much. I don't want to use it for the video. So 2012 should probably go over to more options, details. Let me go over to date modify. Yes, it's right here. So let's open cylinder 3. Things I like about Pico is everything is going to be set up exactly as it was when I took the capture, which makes a lot easier to read. So again, I don't think the crankcase is going to be any worth it on this capture. So we can take that off. The sink, not really too much in the way on this one. Let's close the notes. But yeah, we got 150 pounds of pressure here, and then we have 150, 190. That's 50 pounds of pressure. I mean, that's definitely a bed cylinder. Um, no doubt about it. Is the camera recording me? Sure. Yes, we are recording. Let me take the ignition channel off for 1 second. We're gonna focus onto the compression for a little bit. We can put rulers in here. I'm gonna use this one. Because you know, with the rulers and face, you can see obviously degrees. Backwards. I'll move this here. So I want to get a little more room. Perfect. When you're doing the zoom and pico, if you try to capture like very close to the towers, then you lose a little bit of detail. That's why I went up and grabbed a little extra height. Let me see the rulers. I want to put 4 partitions. That should be good. Let's get the 0 psi reading. Why is that giving me the other reading here? Oh, it's right here, yeah. Put 0 and then now it's perfect 0, yeah. All right, let's do this with the other capture. We're gonna do the same thing. Let me just um, grab one in the middle, like here. Perfect. Um, Again, height. Let's put the 0 here. And let's get the rulers for compression, or sorry, degrees. 4 partitions. Okay. And then we can measure, you know, where we think the actual valve open to the bottom depth center. So 55.75. $51.27. That is close enough. 55.75. I might be a little off in here. I don't really suspect that you're going to have, you know, a big difference on that time. Things that I don't like is these intake packet. So let's measure that almost to like the lowest pressure on the now. Tap the center. And we have 83.45. See, this is a big difference. Now I'm starting to see a little bit of the picture in here too. Like if we see the 360 degrees, this is captured on cylinder 1. Remember, we got the pressure on the crankcase, which is the green. Make sure you guys are seeing at least my movements. So the crankcase is on the one known good cylinder, and no crankcase on the known bad cylinder. So if we see right here, the 360 is being almost, you know, where the pressures start to come down. If we go over to the other side, the known bad cylinder is after. So we can focus in here. Let me focus on this area. Now we can see that a lot better. So if we see where, let's say we start to come down, we got like 10 degrees. We can go even a little further, like right there. Yeah, 8 degrees. Let's do the same thing in here. You see, it's even before. So yeah, the exhaust valves are being commanded different. Do we have a problem with the actuator in here or something else? I mean, it's definitely right there. We can go, like right there. That will be 1 degree. So something is changing. Again, let's not overanalyze anything yet. Let me go back out one time. I also want to see what the pressure is on the intake part. Is minus 11 at this point. And we can leave this one here like this. Just need to grab this one. And this one is 12 psi. So we do have more pressure in here. I don't like that hump in there too. Let me get out of here. Zoom out a little. We got a very weird same thing in both. We got that a little bit here too. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about. So like a little hump in there. So 12, almost 13 psi, and then 11 psi here. What is my exhaust? Which is a lot. I think that is a lot for just cranking. I mean, it's a turbo engine, so we need to compare one with the other. So yeah, okay, so I'm just going to put this one on 0 so I know which one is which. All right, we got on bed cylinder, we got 3 pounds. Is that the bed cylinder? Let me zoom out. Yep, zoom out. No, this is a known good cylinder, sorry. So let's say 2.9 pounds on the exhaust pocket. And in here we got 5. That's almost double. Minus, right? There's some, and the other one is reading the relative because I moved the one. So we got 6 pounds and 3 pounds, almost double the compression. Sorry, not the compression, the exhaust packet, and double here as well. So it's definitely valve timing issue. What we have here, I just don't like the compression problem as well. So if we go over to the other capture, let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, we definitely can see. I'm going to, and that's what I zoom out a little off or away from that, because in here the eye cannot really catch it well. But if I go and scale it a little more, we can see that we have, yeah, this is a bottom end problem. Look at this. These are, crankcase needs to be very even across the board. That's what you're looking for. When you see this hump in here, that means one cylinder is dropping down compression into the crankcase. And we know that we have one cylinder only. We got low compression. Valve timing is off a little bit. It's hard to really um, say that that is wrong because, I mean, we have both of the Banos trying to control. So what the computer does is impossible to know. Yes, we can unplug them and use the base time and then compare those again. I was looking for something really, really specific, especially when you got a misfire like this. Is either we have a dead hole, like like a valve that is burned. So you will see that on the intake, you will see that on the exhaust, or in this case, you will see it on the crankcase. So we can put, the pressure transducer, we can put them in the intake, we can put them in the exhaust manifold, and that will tell us if we have anything else. But I'd rather go the simplest and fastest way. Again, it's trying to save as much as time and money to the customer, especially when you have a problem that is definitely bottom end. No doubt about it with this. So let me get all these rulers out. Um, we can just use, I mean, it's notorious. Hopefully, again, we can see that I use the red for that. I'm just pushing the red channel away so we don't need it for this. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely see it, and it's very repetitive. So it's one cylinder. So we got, four humps, one, two, three, boom. One, two, three, boom. One, two, three, boom. Like one, two, three, four is the boom. In this case, cylinder three. I mean, it's obvious we got that dead misfire in there.